morning YouTube. I'm going to cover in this video, this is my fourth weigh-in day video. I'm going to cover what's happened in the last week. This will give me the stats from yesterday, which is Sunday 23rd of July. And this covers the period from the 16th to the 22nd of July, from Sunday to Saturday. And in that time I had an aim to try and get an average of less than 2,000 calories a day taken in, try and do a minimum of 5,000 steps a day, every day, and to have good days. This is what I had. And I would say that it was a pretty successful week in those terms. I did everything last week that I wanted to do. I also reduced some of the calories I took in by fine-tuning some of my foods. So not having honey in my porridge has been alright. It's not quite as nice having sweetener, but I can cope with just having sweetener, no honey. Not having any spreads in my sandwiches is fine. I don't really miss those at all. So I did manage my average calorie intake to be lower than 2,000 on average. It was 1839 over the course of the week, 1,839. And that's primarily because of the Sunday, the 16th, where I had very little calories, I had less than 1,000 calories, and one meal, breakfast and one meal. And the same on Saturday the 22nd, I had one meal during the day and breakfast. And so they were both under 1,000 calories, which then meant that the rest of the week I was able to, although sometimes I went over 2,000, the highest I had in the week was 2,500, but my average obviously was less than 2,000, and that is a reduction of 376 calories over the week before, which was my average. According to my Fitbit, my calories used up went up slightly, which is good. It was 3,680, 3680, and that was up by 288 calories from the week before. My other, so just of my food, I had 7 what I would call good days. I didn't buy any takeaways, didn't buy any sweets, sugary foods. I just had my planned meals when I was hungry during the day and nothing else. So it's just my diet last week. It went really well. I felt in control. I felt didn't get too hungry. Didn't feel tempted to buy stuff. I felt really good. In terms of my steps, my aim was to do at least 5,000 every single day. One day I didn't, but every other day I did do over 5,000. And on the Saturday, I had to, at the end of the day, do an extra 2,000 steps at the end of the day, just to make sure I got over the 5,000. But I did get over 5,000. So as an average for the week, my average steps per day was 6,010, 6010, which was 729 higher than the week before. One disappointment is the press-ups. I didn't really do press-ups much last week. I did them on the Monday and Tuesday. So I did 22 on Monday, 23 on Tuesday. But I didn't do anything else that week. And what I did for Tuesday was I did 15, did a slight pause, and then did another 8. So that's what I need to do now. Is I can't do 23 all in one go. So I could do 20. I did do 20 in one go, but I know that I need to just have a slight pause, do 15, carry on, and I'll do that to get to 30, and then I'll see how I get on at that point. So my aim for this week is to keep doing at least 5,000 steps a day as a minimum, and try and do more steps as an average than I did last week. I need to try and get my press-ups every day and keep on having 7 good days. And today is Monday. I know for a fact I haven't achieved that already, because yesterday, Sunday, I felt quite poorly, and I don't feel 100% right now, to be honest. So I didn't do the exercise, and I did eat some crap. I'll tell you about that in the next video. well my week. But right now, this is for last week, and oh yeah, so now I'll give you my resulting physique stats off the back of that. Okay, so my overall weight yesterday morning was 16 stone 6.8 pounds, which is a reduction from the week before of 2.6 pounds. My fat percentage only went down by 0.02 to 32.4% fat. My visceral fat rating was still 17, same as the week before. My muscle percentage was 10. My muscles mass was 10 stone 8.2 pounds, which is a reduction of 1.4 pounds from the week before. And then my basal metabolic rate is 2,109 calories a day, 2109. My metabolic age is 50 still. My muscle percentage, calculated as a mass against my total mass, has gone up by 0.1% to 64.2%. So I feel that the figures aren't showing me much of a trend at the moment. I have actually lost half a stone since I started, so I should take that as being a positive. So in the 4 weeks that I've been doing these videos, I started off at 17 stone 1 pound, and I'm now 16 stone effectively 7 pounds. So a half a stone reduction is nothing to be dismissed. It is going in the right direction. The more important thing is I feel in control of my diet and what I'm doing. I do need some further finessing, I do need some consistency. I haven't cracked it yet, but I think that by having this accountability, it is helping. There's still a long way to go, but I'm taking some positivity from those figures. Okay, so before bringing this video to a close, I suppose looking ahead at this week, I will tell you about yesterday now, because I don't want to forget. So Saturday night I was feeling quite rough physically. Felt like I had a cold coming, but I wasn't quite sure what was going on. So Sunday I didn't really do anything. I was in bed for most of the day, pretty much all day. I did have breakfast with porridge and fruit, and then by about, I would say 4 o'clock, sorry, I was quite hungry, and I had a real hankering for some crusty bread sandwiches and some crisps. And I didn't have any of those in the house, obviously, because I didn't buy them anymore. So I decided that I'd get out of bed, get dressed, and I'd go to the local shop and buy some nice bread and some crisps. And when I decided that, minstrels came across my mind, and as it came across my mind, I dismissed it. And then about a minute later, I thought, "Oh, you feel bad? It's a treat. Go on, just do it." So I allowed myself the idea of having some chocolate, which I don't feel happy about, to be honest. But I'm not pleased I did it. I don't want to do it, but yeah, that's what I thought, and I justified it because I was feeling unwell, just feeling sorry for myself. So I went to the shop, got dressed, went to the shop. I ended up buying some rolls because I didn't have any bread. In those rolls I had some cheese and ham and some butter. I had 2 rolls. I also did get a big bag of Doritos, cheesy Doritos. So a big bag is obviously too much, more than I needed. And then I got a bag of minstrels and a bag of Maltesers. And I ate all of it, and it was way too much. But I couldn't stop eating the chocolate when I decided. I didn't have all the Doritos, to be fair. I had probably 2/3 of the packet. But I haven't worked out my calorie content for yesterday. I'm going to do that probably today, but it's going to be in the region of, I'm guessing, 2,500, 3,000 calories. So I'll work it out. It won't have been a good day, and my steps was minimal. I did about 300 steps, no exercise than that. Yeah, so it was quite a bad day in terms of my dietary intake. But as I said, the reason why I did it is because I felt unwell, and that isn't an excuse. It's not an excuse. It's not the right excuse. But what I'm doing is I'm using that memory of wanting chocolate when I felt ill, and I'll use the memory of when I felt too sick, too full afterwards, and I'll use that as a reminder not to do it again in the future. So I think this is what works for me, is when I do slip, in the past, that would be it, I'll just carry on eating crap for ages. But now what I'm trying to do is use that slip as a motivator to not do it next time. So at the moment, I'm not eating any breakfast today. I just didn't feel up to it. I don't feel I'm going to do a full day's work today. I'll explain about what I'm doing in a minute. So I feel that I've done the bad day yesterday with my diet. There's a reason for it. I'm going to try and learn from that and not let it become a habit. So I want to kind of allow myself sometimes to have the odd day where I kind of lapse, but not to then allow that to let the whole journey collapse into giving up. And historically, that's what I would have done. So I feel like I just regain control, use that as experience to remind me that I don't want to do that, and move on. So I want this week to be, from now on, a positive week. I think diet-wise, I feel confident I can do that. I think I'll have 6 good days this week. I'm just not sure I'm up for the exercise bit at the moment. I just don't feel at all inclined to anything physically. In terms of work, I did book in last week a job for this morning, and I just didn't feel like I'd cancel it. I didn't want to let them down. It is a local job, so it's not very far. I am going to do it and then see how. Well, no, but I'm going to do it and then go home. Basically, I'm not going to have a day's work today. I've given myself the permission to have a day off after I've done my booked-in job, and I'll see how I feel today, and hopefully I'll get back to work tomorrow. But I feel that if I push it for a full day's work today, I might end up not acting it physically. Yeah, so that's been my weekend. I don't feel ill very often. I don't feel too bad this morning, but I feel that I haven't had a great night's sleep. So I think I just need to not push it today and see how I get on with having an easy day after my first job, i.e. go home and rest up. Okay, thank you very much for listening to our video. I'll see you next week. Bye.